welcome to Me Time with Ruby. Charlotte and I on the sofa again.
It's a wet day.
It's a wet day. It's raining day. Hallelujah. Oh no, my singing was never mine.
It's raining clothes.
Raining clothes. I love this hat that's come in. That's why I grabbed it and wanted to wear it. I love this. These come in all sorts of colours and prints. So check out the website for these. www.rubylalaonline.co.uk. It's always a mouthful to say. Oh, I was going to put it here.
One,
Yes,
yeah.
there it is. Yeah. So
I love
there you
the polka dot one. I just spotted the polka dot one as well. Love a polka dot.
go. Yeah, that's you.
My lace. I'm in my lace.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't get wet.
Well, that's true. I love this. It's so nice because you can still see what you're wearing underneath.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually a really nice thing. And there were some jackets doing the rounds where they were completely see-through, but that just looked a bit odd. At least with this, there's a little bit of something isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really like those actually. Really.
Yeah,
Nice.
very sweet.
Yeah. I went to the hairdresser yesterday. I think you were just about to say you liked my hair, weren't you?
I was, yes.
And I wore my main neck. I was ever so excited, and I was like, yes! And I just got out of the car. And then when I left the hairdressers, it was brilliant sunshine.
Well, that's
So,
what you want after the
I got
hairdressers, though,
to wear
actually,
it for
isn't
about
it?
3 minutes from
Yeah.
the car. But I'm dying to be able to go out for a walk with this because I just love these ones.
Do you wanna
And
go
they're
now?
so comfortable. Best day just to finish this, I
Okay.
think, but I might do after.
I'll just call David. Dave can do you, and then I'll do you, and then
Do you
can
think
just
I'd
go for a
trust
walk.
Dave on the sofa? No, I would not trust Dave on the sofa. I'm very excited, surrounded by all these gifts. But anyway, so over to you because I have no idea what this week's about. Because it's been so busy in the shop, I haven't actually.
Well, you've got a lot going on at the moment, to be fair, haven't you? So
One thing I'm
I
really
forgive you.
struck by actually, and I must just say, probably totally not to do with the blog, but we've had so many customers that what they're saying is they want to support local. I think people really realise about supporting local, but also the independent business. Yeah, and it's just really lovely. You know, it's quite often I'm sort of close to tears really because people are just so kind and so lovely and so supportive.
And kind of when it's your baby, like Ruby
Yeah,
Lala, it's your baby,
yeah.
isn't it? And how nice to feel supported.
Yeah, it's not a bad world out there. Really. There's
No.
some good eggs, isn't
Yeah,
there?
I
And people
think
are really
so.
kind, and yeah, I mean, I feel so. I mean, I always come into work and I always have an uplifting day because
So
people
nice.
are so lovely. So yeah.
I
Anyway,
think Farnham's got so many lovely little independent shops of all kinds, isn't it? And cafes and all sorts.
and
It's such a
historical
nice.
buildings. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. So if you
Yeah.
haven't been to Farnham, there's lots of there's some lovely hotels around here. The Bush Hotel in Farnham Central.
The Bishop's Table, that's up there, isn't it?
Yeah, Frensham Pond Hotel. There's the Hogsback Hotel. So if they've got any deals on, I know sometimes people put their on Google and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a really lovely place to come.
And
So if
we're
you're not
here.
local, and we're here, and you've got to come into Ruby Lala and say hello as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, it's a really pretty
Yeah.
town, and I love that. When I go away, I love little towns that just have little independence.
Yes.
You can potter in there and have a
That's
look.
it.
And,
And I always
something
get
to
really
eat.
jealous. I'm like, oh, I wish this shop was in our town. But I actually live where Ruby Lala is, so I'm fine about that. It's good. Finally.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
nice. So what's in store today, Charlotte?
So today we're
I'm
talking
not taking my
about
hat off, by the way. Can I just love it? It feels so
no,
comfy.
whatever makes you happy. And that's kind of the topic. It's about self-care this week. It's a sort of slightly different focus this week because I think just with the weather being a bit rubbish, apparently we're in summer. You know, this.
Well, it is end of June.
Yeah.
And when this goes out at the beginning of July.
I know.
My
Where's the
northern friends
sunshine?
keep posting on Facebook and they've got beautiful clear blue skies up there. So
It's all very depressing, this weather. So I just thought with that and with all the nonsense in the government, you know, and things moving on, you know, there's just so much that I think we can just feel a little bit sort of in a slump maybe about a lot of stuff that's been going on. So I thought let's just do a bit of focus on self-care and things that we can do to make ourselves feel better.
Okay.
You feel better wearing your hat.
I do.
And that is a
I'm
really
quite
good
cozy
example.
here. And
Yeah.
yes, and feel lovely.
So yeah, so I just wanted to put the focus on self-care purely because it's one of those things that's kind of bandied around for women, or you know, make sure you're doing self-care. But like for you, what would that mean for you? If I said, are you practicing self-care?
It's been a long time since I've practiced self-care. Since I've opened Ruby Lala, I don't think I've done much. But I was very conscious of myself. And it could be a day out shopping with girlfriends. It could be having a massage. interestingly, it used to be maybe going for the hair appointment, which I did yesterday, but that was just totally inconvenient because I had so much to do, and taking
It's just something that had to
3
be done.
hours out of the day, well, it was just had to be done. And
Mhm.
also, I didn't enjoy it having to wear a mask either, but
No.
we won't go into that one either. So yeah, but what I've also started doing since lockdown, which I never did, was I used to watch TV, and because I love fashion, I'm watching a lot. I'm actually watching Downton Abbey at the moment. I can't believe I've never watched it. And looking at the fashions of 1920s, and which was the year my dad was born in 22 and my mum in 26. So it's really nice to see what the fashions were, what my grandparents would have been wearing.
Gosh, that is
all that sort
interesting.
of stuff. And I do. So though it's relaxing, it does make me think, and I feel quite nostalgic. And so yeah, maybe a bit of shopping, a little bit of lunch, spending a little bit of money, having a massage, all of those sort of things.
Yeah.
What self-care is about. And I really appreciate, because of my past career, how important it is. But I must confess, I haven't done much of it.
Yeah. Well, actually, your sort of psychotherapy side of things might come in handy during this chat then, because obviously you've
I forgot it all.
Oh well, maybe not then.
I've got a degree in it, but I forgot it all.
Just do self-care. That will be your advice. So so what I wanted to do is just kind of go into, like, I think it's 3 or 4 areas of self-care that are really important and that are so simple, but that actually we don't even think of them as being self-care. For example, on the emotional self-care front, it's the issue is that we as women, men too, but we're obviously focusing on women here, women tend to put other people first and then themselves second. So it might be sort of for you, like putting the shop first, but then you're putting all the girls who work here, you're putting the suppliers who you go to, like daily paying, or kind of your husband and what he's up to, and making sure that kind of he knows where he's at with it all, and then it's everyone else, and then you go home and you've got to sort whatever it is at home. So we kind of feel like there's this pressure on us, like this emotional. It's like emotionally draining sometimes, because you're so under pressure to do so many things for so many people, that it's like, well, once I've done all that, then I'll do this thing for myself. And it's like a never-ending to-do list, and you get to the end of the day and it hasn't all been done, and so you've fallen off the end of the page. The other thing is just about having a sense of self-worth, and that's a big reason why a lot of us don't, apart from the busyness, just the sense that we feel like we almost don't deserve it somehow. Oh, well, I didn't finish all that stuff, so I don't deserve to go and do that thing.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder how much unconsciously we deliberately don't finish things, so we can self-sabotage.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's just something that we just do, and it's really hard to notice when you don't have that much self-worth. Because I think because we're so busy, we don't have time to go, how do I feel about myself? And then so we kind of put a sticky plaster over it by going and having a drink or whatever, just doing something else. But those things aren't the self-care. What we need to do is ensure that we are literally taking, and this is all it could be, 5 minutes. Set an alarm on your phone for 5 minutes, grab a snuggly blanket, grab a book, and just sit on the sofa, and a cup of tea, and just sit on the sofa for 5 minutes. And that is your self-care time, and see how you feel at the end of it. And I have to say, it does take a bit of practice. I was doing this a lot when I was doing counselling the end of last year, and it was really being drilled into me every week. You've got to have self-care time, put it in your diary. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I was really enjoying it. Now I'm at a point where I feel really busy all the time. So when I set my alarm yesterday, I was like, self-care, self-care, self-care. And it really wasn't very relaxing, because I was like, all these things I need to do. But I sat, I had my lunch, I didn't go on my phone, I had an audio book playing, and I just took those 5 minutes. I was like, Alexa, set an alarm for 5 minutes. And she was like, all right, Charlotte, I'll do that for you.
5 minutes,
And
starting now.
yes, Alexa, she's set the alarm. Oh my gosh, she recognised my voice.
She's going to go off in 5 minutes now.
Alexa, cancel alarm.
No alarm has been set.
Oh, this is weird now. So anyway, that's what I did. That's how simple it is to set your alarm for 5 minutes and just don't do it. And just sit and read a book or whatever it is that you want. Some people like to sort of have a meditate or watch TV, but just something for yourself for 5 minutes.
One thing I would say from my obviously past career is sometimes you don't even have to consciously think about it. So I'm thinking just sometimes, even if you're getting in the car to go and pick the kids up, 5 minutes, don't have the radio on, just your own thoughts for 5 minutes, because we fill our time with radio, books even. I mean, I'd even go one step further and say sometimes even a book. And just sometimes even just looking out of a window for 5 minutes. Thinking, not even necessarily thinking about anything or thinking about nature or whatever. I mean, some things we can do unconsciously that in real life.
Yeah, but then do we miss the self-care in that if we haven't consciously done it?
But it is self-care, and we absorb it whether we consciously know that we are or not. So there is something about absorbing it.
Just finding a bit of quiet.
I also agree that sometimes you have to sort of be aware and just say, do you know what?
If you're out the habit, like I definitely am, like it sounds like you are. Yeah, as I say, I set an alarm yesterday. Don't do it, Alexa. And I was just really stressed for the whole 5 minutes. I was like, this is 5 minutes. I could be doing X, Y, Z. But I'm going to keep going with it, and then it kind of brings it back in. So other things I thought were things like buy yourself some flowers, because then that's like an emotional hug, isn't it? It's like, yes, well done. You deserve that, well done. And as you said, kind of having a massage, things like that. But the other one that's really good, and this links back to you watching the TV, is putting some comedy on the TV and having a really good belly laugh. Finding something that's going to really sort of hit the funny spot and make you laugh, because that's for our emotional health, and you'll know that with your training, like laughter and smiling and all that positive energy, that's so good for us. So
Victoria Wood, I was watching the program her last night, and we ended up, my husband and I are actually belly laughing. We were laughing at Victoria Wood anyway. It was lots of what she'd done, because obviously she's not around anymore. Very, very, very clever lady. And the happiness and the laughter she's brought many people. But we ended up laughing about something that I actually said and did, which was really funny. And I laughed so much I couldn't breathe.
I was going to say I wet myself.
Well, that would probably have followed had I not got myself
Start
together
at the eyes.
But things like that, you're absolutely right. So
it just lifts you,
doesn't it? We'll make you laugh.
La la laugh. Yes, the next one was self-care, and I start in the blog with drop and give me 50. So off you go, physical self-care, 50 push-ups. I do follow up with
Can I just do my
just a little kick. There we go, lovely.
my new Ruby Lala shoes, that'll do.
Oh yeah, perfect. So no, we don't have to necessarily do something that's going to make us want to cry, like a HIIT workout, which is what I do, and it does make me want to cry, but then I feel really good after. So for me, physical self-care has kind of become a bit of a part of my life. For other people, that's something that you're so busy. When am I going to fit this time in, Charlotte? Come on, give me a break. But it's actually not just about the exercise. Actually, sometimes it's about just taking care of your body, because it's your body that's getting you through all that busyness. So it could be a massage once a month. It doesn't have to be about exercise. It can be doing a stretch, like a daily stretch before bed or kind of first thing in the morning, just so that your body is kind of being cherished, in just that little way. And I always say 5 minutes. Obviously, it can be as long as you want. When I'm doing the HIIT workouts, they kind of vary between sort of 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. So for me, that's a really intense period of physical exercise, but I'm sort of not overwhelmed by it in a bad way. That's what I'm doing, and it gives me that time out of my busy brain and my busy life to just be doing that thing, and I come out the other side of it feeling good. I have a stretch, I have a cool down, a bath, and I'm like, yes, I know I've got to do all this again tomorrow, but
I'll worry about that
right now. I feel really good. So it's just about finding, a way to keep your body fit and healthy, because that's so important as part of that self-care. And people think, oh, I'll have a bubble bath and a glass of wine. That's just sort of stereotypical self-care, but that actually in the long run is good, but it's not necessarily. There's your Alexa alarm. Thank you, Alexa. One of you, she's going to have to listen to one of you.
Right.
That's your alarm.
What did I say?
Alexa, stop the alarm. She told me there was no alarm set. Okay, no one speak to Alexa. yeah, so it's just, we kind of forget to do that for our physical bodies, and we sort of think, oh, I'll go shopping or I'll go and have a bath, etc., etc. But actually, sort of just taking care of your body is really, really important, and just remembering that you deserve that time. And people think, oh, exercise, but your body needs it to be fit.
But exercise can just be going for a
Go
walk.
for a walk, exactly. Yeah.
Just
some
do
people it's
something
sociable.
I mean, my
isn't it?
exercise here is going up and down the stairs at Ruby Lala
Exactly.
100 million times a day.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because we obviously have the fitting room. I'm pointing over there because the fitting rooms are over there. And I came up the other day and I looked in the fitting room and Katie was doing these sort of, well, I can't remember what they were called now, some yoga sort of thing or something that her osteopath or somebody had told her to do. And she said she has been, doing some stretches, and she'd been steaming and just thought, you know what, I need to do some stretches.
Yeah.
And she was in the fitting room to do one of those stretches. I just left her to
Doing
it.
some
So
lunges.
she said, do you want to join me? I said, no, thank you. I'm just going for my cream cake. You carry on. So, she was doing those, but she just said she does feel better just for doing some stretches.
Yeah, and that's just proof you can do it anywhere, as long as it's kind of semi-reasonable. Like in the fitting room, not in the middle of the shop floor while serving a customer. But you can kind of fit it in, and it's worth doing. So so then the next one is your mental self-care, which sounds, it's a little bit like emotional, but it's actually more about challenging your mental health a bit and getting those new sort of neural pathways kick-started, because I think when our brain gets sort of stuck on a loop with a way of living, or the people we talk to every day, or the situation we're in, and actually during lockdown we have been really stuck in so many ways, the brain can become a bit depressed and a bit flat. And so with mental self-care, it's about kind of sparking a bit of interest again. And so things like, I don't know, lots of people like different things. I thought things like Sudoku or like a word search or something. People like that kind of thing. The other things, though, it could be anything, like trying a new skill, learning a new language. There are so many apps that you can get, to try different things. So, just kind of trying something different and taking that time. Again, set yourself a 5-minute timer.
Don't say that.
Don't set the 5-minute timer.
Don't say her name.
No, she's listening. And just going for it, just having a go and seeing sort of how you feel at the end of it. Because obviously at first when you're trying something new, it can be a bit like, oh, I've got to do this thing now. But it's getting your brain working in a new way, and that feels really, really good. The other thing I was kind of putting under this in the blog was having a good clear out at home. Because when we've got loads and loads of stuff, it can be very draining to us, and it's like, oh God, where's that thing? And opening all the drawers and the cupboards and the stuff everywhere, and like no organisation. And for some people that's absolutely fine, that it doesn't bother them, and if you're one of those people, I'm very jealous. If I sit at home and I'm like, oh, the cutlery drawer, and I'll suddenly become really fixated on the cutlery drawer, and it needs to be sorted now. Just having a good clear out, getting rid of things, taking it to charity shop, selling it, whatever it is, and getting some really lovely storage for the stuff that's left over. And like the thing that I was like, your jewellery, little jewellery box. I love that jewellery box, but just something really beautiful, like beautiful boxes, or you can get those decals that you stick onto a boring plastic box that just says your medication and shoes and whatever it is. And different colours, and you can kind of make your cupboards a little bit exciting. So when you open them, A, you know where everything is, and B, exactly, you're not overwhelmed. And in fact, if anything, you're given a bit of a positive boost, because
So it's like,
exactly, it's a really nice feeling. And actually for mental self-care, I think that is quite a big part of it, isn't it, really? I mean, you probably know more about that than me, but how do you feel about organisation? Are you sort of...
I used to be really organised. I remember when I used to work in an office many years ago before I had the children, my desk was always, immaculate and everything. I'm complete chaos now, basically. I really am in a complete chaotic state. So my desk looks like a bomb's hit it.
But does it stress you out, or are you kind of like, whatever?
No, because I just shuffle the piles
Yeah.
from this side to that side and go like
And
this.
you
every
know
now
where
and
it
then.
is.
And but I mean, I do feel a bit frustrated because I'm very much like, well, I'll do this, and then I actually don't get around to doing it, and it doesn't. I suppose I sort of am okay with it because I know if if it's really important, it will get done.
Get done, yeah.
But you know, because you've been nagging me about marketing meetings and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, give me the week after next, and the week after next comes, and I'm like, well, this is now happening, blah, blah. So yeah, but when it, you know, does need to be done and does need a bit of a shuffle, tidy up, I do it. But I'm nowhere near as organised as I used to be. But having said that, my home is quite organised.
Oh, but
you know,
yeah.
I don't like having
It feels like there's sort of,
everything everywhere.
yeah,
but,
it feels nice and calm.
And the shop is generally
Yeah.
quite organised. And
Oh,
I get a bit fidgety if the rails are too full. I don't like
Clumped
something
together,
and then
yeah.
2 foot apart.
No.
But I also don't like it so that you can't leave things on the
I think
rails.
it's also about the empty space as well, isn't it? Whatever you're talking about, you know, whether you're talking about a piece of artwork or, you know, a shop or your home, it's about where there's space as well as what's in the space. So yeah, I think everyone has a different idea in mind of how they want their home, and some people love it filled to the brim with beautiful things, and other people like it just to be kind of a bit more pared back. And
I mean, I would also always say, and I take on this philosophy, is I'm not too hard on myself. Yes,
No.
I'm a bit disorganised at the moment, but you know what? That's how it is at the moment.
yeah,
And,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah, aren't we all just a
Yeah.
little bit off?
mm.
And I mean, I think that's where with that kind of the mental health is, you know, trying something new like art or doing something creative. That's such a good outlet for so many people. For, you know, for someone that might be learning a new instrument, for someone else who might be picking up the paintbrush since they did their GCSEs, you know, for the first time. There's so many different little outlets that you can do, and who knows, you might one day have your paintings in your local Ruby Lala for sale. I love that painting of the owls. It's so sweet. Yeah. It's just amazing, isn't it? I think sometimes you don't realise that you actually have a talent for things until you try things. It's like, you know, I always quite liked drawing at school, and I was quite good at it. And then I was doing my dad's birthday card the other day, just writing in it, and my little girl said, draw a picture of him. And I might as well have just given her the card and got her to do it. My drawing was atrocious.
How sweet that she said for a picture
I
of him.
know, it was sweet. I should have just said that she had done it, honestly.
Did you admit to it then?
I did. I really regretted admitting to it. So it was really bad. I mean, truly awful.
Have a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
It probably wasn't worth having a go, if I'm honest. I
I
might,
might have given your dad a laugh anyway,
Yeah.
so he probably felt
might
it.
share it on the Ruby Lala Instagram page later. Truly awful. Anyway, next up is your spiritual mental self-help, self-care, spiritual self-care. Because for some people, obviously, we're going to be looking at things like sort of religion or certain practices we do. But for other people, there's still a spiritual care that we need, like our own kind of spiritual care, which is about kindness, gentleness, you know, appreciation for life. You know, it's not just about. So I'm a practicing Christian, so for me, I like to read the Bible or pray. But for other people, it could just be taking some time, going for a walk outside. You know, it's raining. Go and smell the earth after it's been raining. I mean, how beautiful and fresh is that? You know, it's just gorgeous. We were saying sort of at the beginning about the fact the sun's not out and how it makes us feel a bit flat without the sunshine. Get out when it's sunny and feel the sunshine, and that is also that element of spiritual self-care, because it's about feeding your soul. It really is, you know, but finding different ways to do that. And I thought lots of
Whatever's right for you, I guess.
yes,
yeah.
exactly that. It's kind of finding that way that suits you, whatever it is. So some of the other things that I thought were really nice that actually have nothing to do with, you know, any kind of practices or anything is kindness, just being really kind to other people.
That might just be smiling.
It could just be smiling at something.
Because
Exactly.
we don't do that enough.
No. Or just an unexpected compliment. Oh, I love your skirt. You know, something like that. That's really lovely. The other one, it's called paying it forward, isn't it? Where you pay for a coffee, and when next time someone comes to order a black coffee, it's already been paid for by you. So it's like a little surprise for someone. And it's
No one's done that for me.
no. Well, I think it's probably it doesn't happen that often, but you know, maybe you should. Yeah, exactly.
I to do that. I know sometimes people find these flowers on a bench
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. We found something.
And they say
like a
just do
stone.
someone else a good turn at some point
Yeah,
or something.
that's
So,
it, paying it
yeah,
forward.
I have a go at that. I mean, I do smile and I do pay people compliments because we do look at everybody when they come in, and people do I do notice people's shoes and
Yeah.
might say I love your shoes or.
I think people appreciate it, and you know, you feel nice that you've been able to put a smile on their face, and they obviously feel
Yeah.
good too. And I mean, a really nice pay it forward would be, you know, that someone pays for something, and then next time someone comes to buy it, be like, do you know what? Someone's already bought that for someone. You can have it for
Yeah.
free. You know,
Yeah.
how lovely would that be? Yeah, other things like just calling a friend that you haven't spoken to for a little while, or a family member. You know, just all those little
Yeah.
things that are just going to kind of
Or
fill
write a
the...
letter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just something that comes to, I just love
Yeah.
letter. I wrote a letter to my uncle a couple of weeks ago. And I'm
I
sure
bet you really enjoyed that.
yeah, he's very poorly, so it was, I think it was really nice.
Yeah, it's all those little things. It feeds the soul. But yeah, and then the last one really kind of related back to something we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, and this wasn't really another one. It was more just remembering to love yourself as you are, right here, right now. And I say in the blog, and I'll link back to it, go back to the one where we talk about dressing for your shape, not your size, because that completely, for so many people, that will completely change how they feel about themselves when they're not having to think about the number anymore. They're just looking at their build and their body and dressing it in a way that makes them feel good, rather than going, oh, I can't believe that number, I can't believe I've got to that number, you know, or lockdown, you know, whatever, eating all the biscuits, or whatever it is, you know, not being able to get to the gym. You know, just being able to just dress your body rather than dressing as a size, because we're not that size. We are not a number. We are a human body that does all these things, that's so busy, that does everything for everyone else. You know, and learning to love it just as it is and appreciate it and dress it beautifully. That's so important, I think, and so
I
hard.
suppose what sums all this up is the simple things in life. These things don't cost any money.
No, exactly. That's what I was thinking. You know, and sort of at the top when you were saying, you know, go for a massage or go shopping with friends or go for lunch, and they are, you know, lovely things to do. But then a lot of them cost money. A lot of those sorts of things. Just making yourself a cup of tea and sitting down with a book for 5 minutes. All of this could be done in like 20 minutes, and you don't have to do it every day. You can do it every other day or a couple of times a week. Just you know, set those 5-minute alarms. I'm going to sit down for 5 minutes. I'm going to write a letter for 5 minutes. I'm going to, you know, whatever it is, kind of go through each one and just make sure that you've sort of given yourself a little bit of love.
Oh, well, we love you being here. You tells us such lovely things.
No.
Okay, so that's enough, I think, from us this week.
Yeah, and Alexa.
That's really good. Yeah.
Don't say anything.
So funny. It wouldn't be me telling Ruby, wouldn't it, without something going wrong. Okay, so we will see you next week. I've no idea again what's in store, but I'm sure it's going to be something riveting, just like it is this week. So thanks very much, Charlotte.
Check out the blog
We're
on Saturday.
smiling.
Yay!
Take care.
Bye. Bye.